Hi, I'm Martin and today I will talk about domain model for chat application. Well, if we think about chat application, I will do just simple class diagram, just really simple. So we have one class and that's our user who sends what? He sends message. Okay, so another class is message. So there is relation and it's probably like the user has n messages, right? And the message has one user, but this is a sender relation, and then the message has also recipient, right? So it looks very similar. So message has one usually recipient and recipient has n messages. So this looks very simple. We have just two classes and this relation. But there are a few problems. One of them, let's think about it. We build the system with this domain model, and some users start to use that, so they will sign in. And some users don't like our application so much, so they will sign out and they will delete account. So what would happen if we delete account? Should we keep a message, or because another user, if sender delete account, we want probably recipients still to be able to read the message, right? So they're like we have to put some logic, like if there is still a sender or recipient, don't delete message but mark it as user is deleted or something like that. And if we are building modern web application, we want to connect that chat backend app with probably front end in JavaScript with some mobile application. And what you use for chat application very often is notification, that you won't be notified when you get new message. You don't want to go and check, do I have new message? No, you want a notification. So how do you do the notification? I mean, okay, I will extend this class little. So we have some properties. So how do we call this? Okay, so we send a notification, so we send that this message is notified for sender or recipient. Okay, so sender notified, and then we have to do the same for recipient. And with the deleting account, it's same. And then we have some other functions, and you see that's really clear. I'm duplicating some properties here. So maybe there is better way how to handle that. And yes, it is. The better way is to make it more like email. When you send email, the server sends the message and doesn't care about it anymore, and save the same message into own server. So you know what you have sent, and once the recipient receives your email, he can read that. In that case, our domain model wouldn't change so much. We have still a user, one user, we have still message, but okay, we don't need these. So there is like property notified, and user has, and message is still right, and message has one user, this is still right, but there is just one relation. The relation is not, no, we can call it how we want, like owner of the message. So the user has many messages, and message has only one owner, and there's some property like notified. We want to also have some like message itself, so in text maybe in this case. Now we don't know who sent that, right? So the owner owns the message, and we want also like sender who sent the message. And the difference here is that there is no relation. The sender, it's more like value object. It doesn't link back to user. No, it doesn't. It's just some information, and it can be really some value object, and the properties can be like name. They can be ID, but we can't link. We can't use this relationship. So we can have sender ID. We can have, what about sender? What do we want to know? Because like once we store this in database, there is no joins from the sender to message, no relation. So we want to know the name of the person, so probably name, and yeah, maybe that's all what we really need. So that's really not the only one relation we have. It's here. And even thinking about that, do we need to know for message who is the owner? We probably start with owner and then see the message. So I would also question this relation. Depends on a use case. Like for email use case, of course, we have list of messages, the emails, and we want to know the user. But for the chat application, we go from user, right? We don't go from the mixed list of messages. We go from user. So this is our model, little simplified, and we can look now at the real use case for that. We have user, and the user sends message, and the message is duplicated. One go back to the user who sent that, and one is this actual outcoming message which goes to recipient. So again, I can make diagram really simple, really quick. Okay, so we have user, and user creates message, and so user creates message, and the message got duplicated, sorry. And there is another user, this is object diagram. So there is user 2, and this is message, like duplicated, and there is also the simpler relation. So this is object model, and you can clearly see there is no relation between this. Maybe a question, okay, why it's good? Maybe I want to know the relation. Why it's good? The answer is scaling, because you can really you can clearly draw a line here, and this is our database 1, and this is our database 2. When we do the application which should scale, this is really good example of that. We have no relation between these, so we can put like user from like 50%, first 50% of users to database 1, another 50% of users to database 2, and when we create new application, we just write to these databases, but there is no relation for reading. So if user 2 wants to get all his messages, he just get it. He don't need to know about nothing about user 1. Good. Because this message already contains the most important data about user 1, like as we said, his, what was that, name and user ID. But this ID doesn't link to that. So if we want to know more information about this user, we need to do another query which goes to get the detail of user 1. And there is like limited relation, as you can see. So it's also a very good use case for NoSQL database, because there you don't want to have relation between the objects, or when you store things, no joins. This is really good for NoSQL database. So in design, you don't want to start like, oh, I have heard of NoSQL database. It may be good for our high scale, high availability, best chat application ever. Let's do our domain model to fit our database. No, it shouldn't be like that. It should be really start with the business case, the use case. What do you need? What users want from a user story, and then you will create domain model, and then you will see, okay, what's the best way how to process that into database. Maybe not database, maybe just file, or maybe just in a memory database. Okay, yeah, and I was also thinking, talking about like notifications. So we can really easily tell, okay, this one was notified, and when the user 1 turned on his device, up, he got also notified. So we really can really nicely see about that. Okay, yeah, I think it's pretty much what I want to talk about. There's also another use case with chat application, which use like rooms or groups when you invite more people to chat together, but the main characteristic is really very similar. You just duplicate the message for all people in the same chat room. Yeah, there is no relation, and you also can really nicely scale that, because you can take like all the chat room to move to a database, some cluster on its own, and you don't have to care about these like relations. So this is really nice example. Like when you do your first draft or your domain model, maybe it's not the best one. So try to think about that. Thank you.